Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today we're doing our results video for the month of November. I think this is like the most on time I've been with doing the results video, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is my Erin Condren monthly planner in the 7x9 size. All of our spreads for November is basically filled out. We have our monthly view for our spendings. We have all of our categories here. Oh, the last one is just our debt, but I can just do that right after this since it's basically separate. But let's actually just go ahead and start with the results. We are going to go ahead and start with calculating how much we spend from each category in our monthly budget spread. For our estimates and actual, it's usually always the same. So we had $5,000 as our budget for this month, and we are zero-based budgeters. Every single dollar went to one of these categories below. Let's actually start with our bills first. I feel like I always like to start with our bills first because I like to see what each account looks like. But for our mortgage, we had an estimate of $2,222. Our mortgage ended up going up because it got sold to a different institution this year for this October, and it ended up going up because it was sold to a different institution and property taxes went up. I'm trying to figure out a way to easily track our mortgage escrow accounts and stuff, but that is like, I'm currently figuring that out. Yeah, it used to be $2,222. It was that for a whole year until it went up. It's gone up every October so far since we've moved in. I guess it's to be expected now, but that means that our actual was $23,1766, which means we were negative for this account, $95.66. We do stick to this budget for 3 months at a time because we do set up our budget quarterly and we try to stick to those amounts that we set up for ourselves. This was our October, November, December budget. I have a video setting this up with you guys. Same with all of our other quarterly budgets together. We just try to set it up, stick to it, and then see what the results are. I actually really like it this way because it makes me be able to analyze our finances per a season and just see how things are with spending. Unfortunately, I fell off the grid for July, August, September, so I don't have any results for these months, but I do like the fact that I have them for the other months. And I do them quarterly just because it's less pressure. If we like missed a month or if we're really bad a quarter, I don't really feel sad about not being able to catch up the budget if I set it up for a whole year. But anyway, so for gas, we had $100 as our budget. The bill ended up being $30.65, which is really nice. So that was $63.35 left over for gas. Electric, we set $150. The bill was $102.70. That means we had $47.30 left over. Mobile was $180. That minus $178.19 equals $1.81 left over. For student loans for mine, $175 minus the $157.71 equals $17.29 left over. For my husband's, $125 minus $124.40 equals 60 cents left over. And then for a holder, we usually don't have anything in here. This is just to make our estimate amount for all of our bills an even number because that's just what I prefer. For this month, it worked out because we had some extra and we had an extra slot because our internet ended up going up to $117. It's no longer $89.99. Or at least we're going to double check. My husband's going to call on Monday to see. We had $13.16 in there. That minus $27.01 means this one is a negative $13.85. All right, so let's go ahead and add all of them up. I'm going to add up all the actuals that we had for all of our bills. So in total for all of the bills spent, it was $2,944.32. And then now I'm going to add up the variances as well. So adding these up together, subtracting our negatives for the $95.66 and the $13.85, we have $20.84 left in our bills section over here. And that should match what we checked in for the week. $20.84 for bills. So that is perfect. And just real quick, also for us to double check, we had 2,965.16 starting for variable bills minus 2,944.32 equals that amount too, which is great. So this is now checked in for all of our bills. Now for our daily expenses. For daily, instead of adding them up week by week, I like to just transfer over the numbers. So 36, 30, 16, 36, 30, 16, and that's how much left over for gas allowance. Pups and bean. Eating out groceries, we were in a negative, so eating out -52, groceries -25. Alrighty, so that means that for eating out, we spent $352. Groceries, we spent $425. Gas, we spent $114. For allowance, we spent $45. And for pups and bean, we spent $59. Let me go ahead and add up how much we spent in total. And then I'm also going to add up our variance, and I'm going to put the numbers down here, and I'll be right back. All right, so that is looking good. So in total, adding all of these up, it did equal to $995. So that minus each other equals 5. This column added up as well with all of our positives minus the negatives equals $5. And that does also equal to what we ended week 4 check-in with, which is $5. So this is perfect. All the numbers are matching. Luckily, their end numbers are not negatives, which is nice. So we're not finishing off the month with the negative amounts, which is good. Now for sinking funds. Alrighty, so let's check in for our sinking funds. I like to go down this side first, like randomly. It's just easier for me. So let's do the one-off ones first. For car insurance, that was $462 for 62. This comes out every 6 months, so luckily I don't have to worry about it again for a while. We have one medical, which was $38 for my glucose test for our pregnancy. Next, let's do car maintenance. Car maintenance looks like there's only one of them, which is an oil change for $77. Car maintenance. Then we have pups medical. Looks like this is only one as well. We'll do $32 for pups medical. We do have some of our medical bills that has to come out, which I think collectively is like a few hundred. We'll budget for that and add more to this category for the month of December. This pregnancy I feel like is so expensive. I don't know why, but okay, so let's move on to some other categories. Beauty, there's one beauty that is $90, so we'll put that in our beauty. That was spent. And then a lot of these have multiples, so let's just go through them. Office, this is $80 plus another office $69 plus, let me just check these off. Office, baby. Last office one down here, so that's plus 45. That goes $194 from our office category. $194. And then we also have some holiday ones. Let's do the holiday ones first. This one is $74 plus holiday for $42 equals $116 spent from our holiday category. Okay, so 42 and 74. Last but not least, the remaining ones that we have is from babies category. And this is why I like to do the double checks. It's just visual for me because I tend to miss things if I don't clearly see them. So for babies category, we have one that was 117 plus 45 plus 269. And that surprisingly is so much that we spent. I did not realize that we spent that much from this category this month, but that was $431 in total that we spent from that category. Nothing else spent from any of the other categories. Let's go ahead and add up the totals. Just make sure. Let's go ahead and add up the totals that we have ending for the month for these sinking funds. I'm a little nervous. Okay, so we had $450 starting with plus the $100 for car insurance. That minus the $462 that we spent means we still have $88 for car insurance. Sewer and water, nothing spent, so we still have $102 plus the $75 that we added. That is $177. Holiday, we had $291 We added 100 minus the 116 equals $275 remaining. Pups Medical 120 plus 20 minus the 32 equals 108. Then for our medical, we were actually negative. So that negative 252 plus that 300 means we had a positive 48, but then we end up spending 38. But at least we're still in the positive $10. Baby category, we're definitely negative. We had 250 plus the 75 that we added. That minus the 431 means we are a negative of 106. Okay, sorry, baby woke up. But my husband is putting her back to sleep, so hopefully she'll go back down quickly. Where were we? So car maintenance, we had 65 plus 75 minus the 77 that we spent for the oil change this month means we have $63 left over. Gifts and treating, nothing spent this month. Is that? There's no way. I feel like every single month we spend from gifts and treating. Because gifts and treating is definitely one that we spend from every single month. Okay, I'm actually really surprised, but feeling really good about that. So we did not spend anything from gifts and treating. That was $113. Home, we did not add any funds, but we did start off negative. So we're still negative in that category. Dates, we had 30, but we had that negative 22 to start off with, but we did not spend anything, so that's still positive 8. Clothes are positive 125. Pups food, we had 100, but we started the month with a negative 11, so we're at $89. Easy Pass, we're at $35. Office, we are negative for sure. We had 50 plus 90 that we added minus the 194 that we spent means we are negative by $54. For beauty, we had 125 plus 25 minus the 90 that we spent means we are at $60 in here. And then for unbudgeted, nothing was spent, so we're still at 107 since nothing was added either. So we're looking, well, it's not as scary as what we started with, but we're definitely still pretty in the negative. So hopefully in December we're gonna add more funds and then we'll look a little bit better by the end of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add up all of the amounts that we spent for this month so far from this column. Alrighty, so for the month so far we spent $1,440, which is definitely a lot. Biggest one was our car insurance that came out, and then we did definitely have our babies. That was really a lot of money spent too, from our holiday, from office. It's just the holiday season, so I'm trying to not really think about it too much. It's just really good that I have these results now collectively per quarter. I just want to see how much this quarter is different from the rest of them. But now I'm going to go ahead and add up what our end results is for all of this. I'm going to add up and subtract the negatives, and I'll be back with the total. Alrighty, so the total after adding up all the positives and subtracting the negatives, we are at $979 in sinking funds. And that is actually what we ended the week 4 check-in as well. It looks like $979, which is perfect. We like when numbers match because we know that account has those accurate numbers. Alrighty, so now that all of our amounts are basically budgeted out, that is going to be it for this portion of it. But now let's actually go ahead and put in all of our numbers in the back, which is what we usually do to finish off our results. First, let's start with our bills. So for our bills, I'd like to transfer over the amounts. Oh, let me actually write down the amounts here too. For daily, we spent $9.95. For bills, we spent $31.75. Oh, wait a second. For bills, we spent $2,944.32. $944.32. I'm actually gonna change the amount we spent for bills because we did pull out $85 for our savings challenge for the month, which is the November savings challenge. We saved $85 from the categories like spread out. So I don't want to mark that we spent that money since technically we didn't. It went to savings. So I don't want to like dock it for us. And then for sinking funds, we spent $1,440. Okay, so I just want to write those down real quick so I didn't forget. So let's talk about these bills. For bills, mortgage is the same amount now. And if you guys are curious about any of these spreads in the back, I did set them up with you guys for 2023. And I will be setting them up with you guys again for 2024. But anyway, okay, so next one's electric. What was the electric? Electric was $102.70. For gas was $36.65. For mobile, $178.19. And then for car insurance, what was the car insurance? The actual amount. Car insurance was $161.72. Oh, wait a second. $461.72. I don't know. $461.72. Okay, there we go. All right, so those are all of our bills that came out, and it's just nice for me to see as a visual representation about how our numbers fluctuate throughout the years, because last year's November, I don't know if it was because like an overcharge or something, but it was only $5, but this year is definitely different. So I'm happy that we budgeted more than we thought. So now that this section's done, let's go ahead and fill out the numbers for our sinking funds real quick. So for November, let me just actually transfer over the numbers real quick. For sinking funds, we have car insurance, which was $462. I'm actually gonna just transfer this over. All of these numbers that we spent for this month, I'm going to just transfer over here for our sinking funds, because I like to have a collective visual of what we spent month by month or quarter by quarter. So I'm just gonna transfer them over real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I transferred over those amounts. In general, this last quarter of the year, $3,000 has already gone to sinking funds, so that's kind of crazy. All right, now that that's filled out, the last thing is just the budget results for this month. So we have November here. So let's grab a color. I think this one matches. These are just my matte liners. I like to just write or draw a line here. The budget results sections, you can definitely fill out in different ways. I like to just fill it out this way because this is what works for me. But you definitely just do it by variable, income, fixed, or per category, per section, or per like sinking fund section, or however, or whatever works for you guys. But this is just what works for me. I like to have the first one as our income. Income for us, we budget $5,000. That's also the actual $5,000, no variance. Then we have our daily. Daily, what we start with is we always budget $1,000. This is our daily section. These are these 5 categories. So we always budget $1,000 at the beginning of the month. What we actually spent was $995. That means what we're left over with is, I don't know why I'm struggling with writing right now, but that means what we're left over with is $5. Next, we have our bills. For bills is all of our variable and fixed bills down here. It's this whole section at the bottom. We always estimate and budget out when these both are added together, $31.75. And then what we actually spent, I realized I wrote the wrong thing. Okay, hold on, wait a second. I never actually added the total. So $209.84 plus $209.44.32. That means we spent for actual for bills is $3,154.16. I'm not sure why I registered it differently and wrote that, because that's not right. That is only what we spent from our variable bills, but it's $3,154.16. Okay, that's better. And let me write that in our results little section. $3,154.16, and that means we have a positive $20.84, which we calculated already, but we know that's what we have left over. Last but not least, we have sinking funds and ally. So this is slightly different. I feel like my brain and my hand are just not speaking the same language. Okay, I keep trying to write an and, but I keep writing a $sign. I was hoping this to stay up a little later and film a bunch of videos today, but I feel like my next few videos might not turn out the way that I might want them to, so let's just see how this goes. But seeing fun is an ally. This is slightly different because we're going based off of our budget for the month. So we already have that $1,000, that $31.75. These sections are all written down already, but then we still have this little section for the other fixed ones. That is $825. So we have $825 in here, and it's always going to be the same because this is fixed. There's no variance. So for example, if we add this all up together, since we are zero-based budgeters, that's 1,000 plus the $31.75 plus the $825. That equals that full $5,000 that we budgeted for. But in total, what we spent was $995 plus $31,546 plus that $825. So that is $4,974.16. And then the total, 5 plus 2084. This is how much we had left over for the month of November. And this is how much that we can save or put towards our debt. We're probably just going to put this towards our debt, honestly. But that's better than last month. For October, we were negative by 16. I know at the beginning of the month, we were doing so well. Every single month, we always had like a couple hundred at least, which is nice. We're negative 1 month, but overall, the quarters for the beginning were really nice. Let's just see how we end out with this month. We only have 1 month left of this quarter, but that is actually going to be it for this results video for this month. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'm so excited to be setting up these spreads again with you guys for 2024. Yes, thank you guys so much as always for tuning in. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye.